with me. And basically like that. So I'm going to play it again. Since I made no mistakes, I'm going to play it a little bit faster. Oh, see? Already too fast. Now we're going to do that phrase again, one more time. And on the next part. So that's kind of the basic way to do it, is just do it as slow as possible where you make no mistakes. Because once you make a mistake a couple times, like when I used to play this, I used to play like, I forgot about that G sharp. And stuff like that. So when I played it the first time or two, it kind of messed me up because I was like, wait a second, this isn't right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. No problem. I saw your Starbucks cup yesterday. I wasn't sure if it was a Starbucks cup or not, but I was like, no, he's a pianist. It's going to be a Starbucks. I just went there this morning. That's so bad. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and try to play one more time a little bit faster. And one more time. And then back to the start. All right, and so that's kind of the first part of the piece, really. Not too bad. Now, one thing I kind of did was I did kind of skip going over the next part. I'm going to go to the sheet music here, and I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor or whatever, but like over here on the fifth measure, we kind of change it up. So now we have a new pattern. We have A, E, A, B, C sharp, E natural, G sharp. So that's where it starts to get a little tricky, is being in a key of like F sharp and then having all those really weird changes. So all I'm doing is, if you notice, it's just the same pattern as before, except it's transposed up 3 half steps. And just to keep it simple, I'm just using the same fingering, the 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go back to here. All right, yeah, so that's kind of, how I do it. I guess what I'll say is that, if you are learning a new piece that has a lot of, I don't know if you're noticing or not, but there's a lot of stuff in the left hand going on and a lot of stuff going on the right hand. It's really important that you know both of those parts well. So for like this main melody, if you can't play it with one hand, like absolutely flawless, then you're probably not going to be able to play it very good when you get the left hand in. So you have to really make sure that both hands know their parts. Or if you can think of it, be like the right hand is the left brain, and you got to make sure the left brain and the right brain are both working together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to keep going on, and I'm going to play from the first 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to play the first 8 measures. All right, here we go. And again, this is just kind of a general, studying lesson video. So if there is anything you want to ask or whatever, go ahead. I'm just really going to be talking and playing a lot. So, yeah. All right, here we go. All right, so it kind of pulled a fast one on us. I don't know why I said that. So in the sixth, seventh measure, instead of having the normal pattern, we have C sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, B natural, A sharp, F, the same. But then we go E sharp, C sharp. Oh, sorry. E sharp, F sharp, C sharp. So it's just kind of a little alteration that we need to look for. So I'm going to do is I'm going to practice that pattern, just the right hand, starting from measure 7. Just to make sure I've got it down. One more time. Starting to turn into a little Irish jig there. So now I'm going to practice doing that again with both hands, pretty slow. And yeah. And so then that's the first 10 measures of the piece, basically. I know that that kind of sounds, well, it's just 10 measures. It's not a lot. No, it's not. But the piece is only about 38 measures, and most of that is just kind of repetition. Because I don't know if you can see here, but like, let's say we go into the next page. It's just the same pattern. The F sharp pattern, that's what I call it. Then we have the A pattern, F sharp pattern, A pattern. So basically, we know about 50% of the piece already, which, you know, is a pretty good amount. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to go all the way up till we get to the octaves, which is in measure 15. So here we go. I'm going to do it a little slower. Back to the other pattern. All right, cool. So when I'm doing, I don't know if you can see my hands too much, but when I get to the parts where the right hand isn't doing anything, instead of having the left hand play that, I'm having the right hand take over once I get to that G sharp. So then instead of crossing over, you can just play it together. All right, so then here's the next part that's kind of tricky for some pianists, is we have octaves. So instead of doing the same, now we have to double it. We have to go, sorry, a little too high. One more time. C sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, B natural, A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, E natural. All right. So not too bad. For some people, it's a little bit easier to do octaves because it's just the same fingering. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Galvabart. Oh, shit. I'm dumb. Sorry. Right here. This is where we're at. In fact, I'm going to make it. Nope, I can't do that. There we go. We're right here where the octaves are. I'm sorry about that. That was my bad. I kept it on the same page. There we go. With the octaves. Yeah. So measure 14, 15. So we're at measure 15 right now. Or we're on the 4th line. Or bar, whatever they call it. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So I guess the best thing to do is, again, to figure out the fingering. Traditionally, what pianists do is if we have a black key, we use 4, just because the 4th finger's a little bit, it's got a little more space on the finger, and it's a little bit easier to play black keys. So, for example, if I'm doing a chromatic scale, every time I have a black key, I'm going to use 4th finger. And it just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver and everything. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to practice doing that octave melody, or medley, whatever you call it, a couple times, and then I'm going to try adding in the left hand. You can use the pinky It's not too big of a deal because I mean, if you have a big enough hand, you can even use your third finger. It's just whatever's most comfortable for you. Some people can't even do octaves. So if you can use 1 and 4, that's fine. But if it's kind of, if it hurts to use your fourth finger, then stick with pinky because you're trying to make music, not mess up your hand. So I'm going to play that one more time. And again, it's totally up to you. I like using fourth finger because for me at least, it's a little bit more comfortable. And I've got a pretty decent hand span, so it's not uncomfortable. So I'm going to do it one more time. C sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, B natural. This is where I use my fifth finger. And then A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, F sharp, E natural. Then when I get to that E natural, I'm also using my fifth finger. So I'm going to do it one more time by my hand, just my right hand, and then I'm going to try adding in the left hand. All right, I'm going to do it one more time. Here we go. All right, there we go. It's really not too bad once you get used to it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the fun part, and I'm going to put both hands together. So since we have something new, we're going to try to do it a lot slower. In fact, the goal is to do it as slow as possible so that you don't make a mistake. Because again, if you play your mistake like even 2 or 3 times, then you're already learning it. And then to unlearn a mistake, you have to play it correctly like 10 or 12 times. So we're just trying to save time. Here we go. I'm going to do that one more time, still at a slow tempo. Even that could be considered a little fast, but I was able to make it out, so that's all right. And one thing that helps, and I don't know if you could see it, is to have notes go down from each other. So like, for example, you see here, we know that C sharp, at the same time you're going to play F sharp in the left hand, right? Let's go on. And then when you're playing F sharp in the right hand, you're also playing F sharp in the left hand. G sharp is when you're playing A sharp. And then when you're playing that E sharp or F natural, you're going to be playing the A sharp. Again, I'm sorry that I chose a piece that has so many fucking sharps, but, you know, is what I was working on. So there we go. All right. And then, for example, here, we start off, we have A sharp at the same time with F sharp. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I think I asked this before, but, you know, whatever. And then when I get to F sharp in the left hand, I'm also there. So it's just kind of, it's kind of good. And what I like to do is I like to draw it here. I'm going to just draw it on my paper and then show you. I don't know if you can see it too well, but what I like to do is I like to draw little lines on the paper just to show where I'm at. And I mean, for this kind of music, it's pretty, you know, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. So I don't really have to worry about it too much, but once you start getting into music where both of the hands are doing really crazy rhythms, it kind of helps to do these little bars. In fact, it always helps me personally because then I can just tell when the notes are together. All right, cool. So I guess one cool thing is technically we're done with the first page, because then if you look down here and measure 17, we start to get into that E natural, and then we have that same A pattern, and then we go back into the octave melody again. Now, one thing I need to point out is that, again, like when we were doing it with just single notes, we have that same alteration where instead of going from C sharp to F sharp to E, we're going